returns to me. I send my joy over the mountains. I send my love over the sea. I send my joy into the heavens, and it returns to me. I send my power over the mountains. I send my power over the sea. I send my power into the heavens, and it returns to me. I send my peace into the mountains. I send my peace over the sea. I send my peace into the heavens, and it returns to me. It returns to me. It returns to me. Welcome, Unity of Raleigh. Let's do our first congregational song. Yourself in me, pour yourself into my heart. Oh, wonderful Spirit, pour yourself in me, pour yourself into my heart. Oh, wonderful Spirit, pour your joy in me, pour your joy into my heart. Oh, wonderful Spirit, pour your joy in me, pour your joy into my heart. Oh, wonderful Spirit, your love, pour your love in me, pour your love into my heart. Oh, wonderful Spirit, pour your love in me, pour your love into my heart. Oh, wonderful Spirit, your song, pour your song in me, sing your song into my heart. Oh, wonderful Spirit, sing your song in me, sing your song into my heart. Oh, wonderful Spirit, pour yourself in me, pour yourself into my heart. Oh, wonderful Spirit, pour yourself, wonderful Spirit.
So Jeff and I were way down in South Florida, and I was dying for a piece of key lime pie. We were in an agricultural area, and there were all these groves of lime trees, and I wanted the local dessert. So we were in the parking lot of a rinky-dink gas station that had been there for decades and decades, because of course the place you find the best local food is the area gas station. Fried chicken, tater logs, homemade key lime pie. So we're out in the parking lot and we're leaning against the car and we're sharing this piece of pie, and it's on this white paper plate covered in cling wrap, and it was wonderful. I'm chewing, I'm looking off, and about 2 blocks up, there galloping by is a giraffe. Wow, I said, took another bite of key lime pie. About 5 seconds later, running by the same intersection is a crowd of people. I mean, you can see them running and gesturing and shouting. And before I could even say wow again, those people have turned around and they are hauling back across the intersection, and hot on their heels is that giraffe. And I had to laugh because I thought, what on earth did those people think they were going to do when they caught that giraffe? And I didn't even want to imagine what the giraffe had in mind. And somehow, apologies to our speaker on the topic, let us pray, this made me think about prayer. So I wonder, how are we doing on our spiritual travels these days? Are we running from dis-ease, lack, sadness, fear, and anger? Or are we running to whatever is good and kind, noble and loving, peaceful and prospering, and happy and healthy? Because there's a big difference. Running from and running to are totally different, and it is totally up to us. Now, Unity teaches us to pray for what we really want, not what our friends and families tell us we should want, not what websites and talk shows and podcasts and books and magazines tell us what we should want. We should pray for what we really want. We should pray simply, and positively, and confidently. We should believe in our prayers. We can imagine what it would be like to receive the blessing and really feel what that's like. And then, after that, all we do is relax, let it go, and let universal mind do the work. We don't have to present God with this 27-point checklist of all the ways we think about how and when that blessing should show up. No, we don't have to. All we have to do is trust this God or something better. So Unity reminds us we are what we think about all day long. That means that our day-to-day lives are the prayer. So today, no matter what is happening to us or through us, we remember that whatever we rush towards with intention and hope, faith and belief will rush back to us, because that is spiritual law. So today we light our Christ candle for Ephesians 3:20. Now to God, who by the power at work within us is able to do far more abundantly than we ask or think. And we affirm, my life is a prayer, so I make my every thought, word, and deed a blessing to myself and to others. So good morning. I greet you in the name of Jesus Christ and in the warm and loving spirit of Unity Church of Raleigh. In Unity, we welcome all people and honor the God of your understanding. We bless all churches and spiritual groups throughout the world because we know we are all sons and daughters of the same loving Creator. So we welcome everyone. We also welcome everyone who is watching us on your device today. Thank you so much for honoring us with your presence. Please be sure to like or share us. My name is Melanie. I'm your platform leader. Our musicians today are Greg and Susan. Kevin is joining us, Alan and Peggy. And our speaker today is an honored guest speaker. Her name is Reverend Ginny Roll. So at this time, let's stand and say together our statement of faith, which you can find on the inside front cover of your bulletin. Together, there is only one presence and one power in the universe and in my life and affairs, God the good. With that, let's walk around the room and say good morning to each other. Let's rush to each other.
we'll do our second congregational song. If everybody want to keep standing. The sun is up, a new day is before you. The sun is up, wake up your sleepy soul. The sun is up, take on to what is yours. Take up your spade and break ground. Shake off your shoes, leave yesterday behind you. Shake off your shoes, but forget not where you've been. Shake off your shoes, forgive and be forgiven. Take up your spade and break ground. Give thanks for all that you've been given. Give thanks for who you can become. Give thanks for each moment and every crumb. Take up your spade and break ground. Take up your spade and break ground. One more time. Take up your spade and break ground.
I love that song. You may be seated. We always begin our announcements with gratitude. Two things. First, the bus arrived. Thank you very much. We told Reverend Jenny, don't worry. The bus comes around 10:35, 10:40. They'll be here. So thank you. The other thing I'm grateful for is Hurricane Dorian. I think most of us did fine in the Triangle area. I'm so thankful, and I understand that a lot of folks, there were some folks on the coast who were very badly affected, Core Sound area, but others did better, so I'm grateful for that. And the last thing is Salsa Night. You know, we had Salsa Night here again Friday night. 40 people showed up to this event, many of them from outside of our community. They had a wonderful time. So many thanks to Jenny and Gonzalo. I saw JC. There he is, JC and Rebecca. I heard it was awesome. And so, yeah, Mary Jane's going, yes, it was fun. So stay tuned. There's a lot of energy around this, and it's fun. It's free. Just come dance or listen to music, whatever. So thank you, people, for pulling that off. That's wonderful. We'd like to welcome the guests we have in our community today. Thank you so much for being with us. You honor us with your presence, and we look forward to getting to know y'all at the hospitality table after the service. We have some congregational prayer today. Two folks in our community have lost parents this week. Our wonderful pianist Susan's dad made his transition this week, and Marla, if you could wave, please, Marla, right here. Her mom made her transition this week. So let's just take a look at these people whom we love so much. Let's just gently close our eyes. And we just surround them with our love. And we remember that there is no separation in spirit, that God and these people, these parents, are as near as the next breath and just the quickest prayer. We give thanks for their presence in the lives of Susan and Marla and their families. And we know that God blesses and expresses in Susan and Marla as acceptance and understanding, peace, comfort, and the joy of happy memories. And we wish Mom and Dad Godspeed. And so it is. Amen. Today's flowers are unsponsored, and when they are unsponsored, we like to give them to folks in our community. So today I have 3 bouquets. One is for Cliff, who lost his mom a couple of weeks ago. One is for Bonnie, who lost her mom. And one is for Susan, who lost her dad. Marla, we will catch you next Sunday. So after the service, Y'all, please take these flowers home as a symbol of our love for you and our support in this time of loss. Just know that you are loved and supported by your church family. So great. So now, why don't we invite our kids to have a great day?
Not yet.
Not yet?
No, not yet.
Wait.
Hold it right there.
Wait. Oh.
Before you go anywhere, I want to acknowledge Sadie Whitney gave me a very beautiful present right by the memorial service for Beverly.
Oh.
And you have to see this.
Oh. Oh. Oh.
Thank you so much. A lot of love.
Another big gratitude. For those of you who are our guests, our minister recently made her transition. Sadie, that is beautiful, and you are beautiful. We love and appreciate. Please stand up so that we can see her with her gorgeous green hair. Also, for those of you who are our guests today, this is how we roll. This is a loving family, a church family. We take care of each other and we lift each other up, and that's what keeps us here together. So now, all of you kids, go have a wonderful day in Sunday school. Great. My goodness, there's a lot going on in our church. Today, Reverend Ginny Roll, our guest speaker, is presenting a workshop on spiritual gifts. A lot of people are attending this workshop. There's plenty of room. Join us. It should be awesome. It is a $10 love offering. There is free childcare. It's all about looking deep within. Maybe not so deep. Those gifts are very evident to all the rest of us. Sometimes we don't know what gifts we have, but everybody else knows exactly how we rise and shine. So this is a workshop on just discovering those indwelling gifts and how you can harness that power, call them forth to be more wonderful, amazing. You in the world, you in this world, you in the great big world. So we are excited about this workshop today. So join us. Before that class at 12:30 to 2:30, the Caring Hearts team is having a quick meeting at 11:45. Bonnie, are we going to meet in the team? We'll meet right across the way in the adult education room, 11:45 to 12:15. Then we can all come back in and be ready for the workshop. Exciting. World Day of Prayer is this Thursday, September 12th, and UCR is doing a beautiful prayer vigil that is from 2 until 8 p.m., and we have wonderful prayers, volunteer meditators who are going to be in the prayer chapel. However, Pat, I'd like to submit, maybe if we have lots and lots of folks come, we may even have to move it in here. But we're going to be gathering in the prayer chapel just to meditate. It's a time to step off the wheel. So from 2 to 8, if you find yourself with even 15 minutes and you're in the area, drop by. The doors will be open, and these folks are going to be in the prayer chapel ready to just hold the sacred space, whatever you want. And it's just beautiful. Remember, in our bulletin, we have the World Day of Prayer prayer request form. Just fill it out with whatever you want to say. We will bless it on that day, and then we send it to Silent Unity. So we are a part of a worldwide event that just wraps this whole beautiful planet in prayer, and I love it. So thank you for joining us 2 to 8 on Thursday. Even if it's just 5 or 10 minutes, it's perfect. And we do have slots for a couple more volunteers. If you would like to be one of those folks who just sits in the prayer chapel and holds that sacred space, it's 1/2 hour shifts, and I'll walk around with a sign-up sheet after the service. Okay. The women's group meets this Friday night here at 7 o'clock. Y'all are talking about accountability groups. Bring a craft, bring a nibble. It should be fun. Bonnie's in charge, Bonnie Wave. So if you want to be a part of it, see Bonnie. This is a cool group. Al Henderson's class, Finding Yourself in Transition, starts next Sunday after the service, 12:30 to 2:30. We have a good sign up for that class as well. Books are for sale back here at the back round table, so we'll be selling that book. It's a book about processing transition, whether it's loss or jobs or relationships or just not quite feeling like yourself. It's going to be a wonderful class, and Al, licensed Unity teacher, we are so grateful to you for teaching this class, and we do have free childcare for that as well. Then on the 22nd, we have a very special guest speaker, Reverend David Torres. He is a Unity minister, he is a mediator, he is a church consultant, and a life coach. And he is coming to us, and he will be the Sunday speaker. And after the service, he will be doing a Healing the Past workshop. And it's going to be just a powerful event, a time when we get together and just process transition and what has been happening. I think it's going to be beautiful. That is from 12:30 till 3:30. Do join us. We have free childcare. You can stay as long as you like. If you can't hang on the whole time, he said it's fine. You can come in and out, but it should be a really good session of just talking about transition and what's going on with us now. We're really excited about this. So, a couple of other things. Jenny, Youth Ed Director, would love donations of maybe easy to set up umbrellas for the youth ed, for the playground in the back, because it's hot. And something that, or a cabana that is really easy. I'm the person who once you push a button and it folds itself up. But something either really easy to take up and down so the kids can play outside because it's pretty sunny and hot, or a cabana that is really, really kind of permanent. You know, just something that can be up, that will withstand weather, that we can leave up in the hot months at least. So if you have something you would like to donate, see Jenny. She's handling the live stream in the back. Thanks, Jenny. Fifth Sundays. This time on the fifth Sunday, Mary Jane in the back, who is on our hospitality team, who is a mad cook. She's a fabulous cook. We love her cooking. Well, she cooked with the kids. They made bark a couple of months ago. Well, she on fifth Sunday is going to do another cooking event with the kids in the kitchen on the fifth Sunday in September. So Mary Jane, thank you. So tell the kids they want to be here, because all ages, be there in the kitchen for something amazing with Mary Jane. It should be fun. Friendly reminder, we have the meditation on Sunday mornings, 9:45 to 10:15. So thank you for entering the church at that front door reverently. That's awesome. We have devised a quickie spiritual social action team project. Did I not tell you it was tons? So what we're going to do, Reverend Paula, who is from Wilmington, is going to be our guest speaker next week. And we know that they got hit by the storm and their food bank could use some support. So we're inviting you to bring in easy to eat open foods like fruits or peanut butter or cereal or canned meats. But we also need wipes, Pedialyte, infant formula, those items that you go, oh my goodness, storm, those items that you really need. So it's only this week, if you could come during office hours, or next Sunday. After next Sunday, we'll be going back to our Ronald McDonald house, collecting those snacks and little items for the families who bring their kids to the hospital. So next Sunday, think about bringing in some hurricane items. There are already things in the adult ed room, and next week we'll have the blue bins out. Yes, Rebecca? That would be awesome. See me after the service. Sharon Shadan is not here. Or you can give it to Andy, and what we can do is maybe, the board can figure that out. If you write it to UCR, then the board could maybe write it to the Food Bank of Wilmington or whatever. But see Andy after the service. That'd be great. Thank you. Okay, so the last thing. Usually, we do a full chair takedown after the service, but we have a lot of folks for the workshop. So what I would like to do, I would like to invite us to take down this side and that side, and let's leave up 4 or 5 rows on this side at the podium so that our wonderful guest speaker, Reverend Jenny, can lead the workshop from here and everybody can sit there. And so after the service, I'll be running around going, not those chairs, those chairs. So just forgive me for nagging and running around. Yes, Louise? 6 rows, because it looks like 25 people. So let's just leave this side up, and we'll handle it after the service. So great. Now, we are rearranging things slightly. We are not going to go into the meditation now. What we are going to do is, because the topic for today's talk is Let Us Pray, Reverend Jenny is going to give her talk and then lead us in a beautiful meditation afterwards that speaks to the talk title and the talk event. So I'm going to invite the music team to come back up and do the special music now.
Good morning. The music team is for right now is me and Kevin.
I pray you'll be our eyes and watch us where we go and help us to be wise in times when we don't know. Let this be our prayer when we lose our way. Lead us to the place and guide us with your grace to a place where we'll be safe.
Le luce che tu dai
I pray we'll find your light
nel cuore resterà,
and hold it in our hearts.
ricordarci che
When stars go out each night,
l'eterna stella sei. Nella mia preghiera
let this be our prayer.
quanta fede c'è,
Shadows fill our day.
lead us to a place, guide us with your grace, give us faith so we'll be saved. A world where pain and sorrow will be ended, and every heart that's broken will be mended, and we'll remember we are all God's children, reaching out to touch you, reaching to the sky. We ask that life be kind,
And watch us from above.
hope each soul will find.
Another soul to love.
Let this be our prayer, just like every child,
Just like every child
needs to find a place. Guide us with your grace. Give us faith so we'll be saved. Lead us to a place. Guide us with your grace. Give us faith so we'll be
Thank you.
That was wonderful. Let's do it again. Oh, what do you think? 3 times we should be. No. Thank you. Thank you, guys. That was awesome. And now to introduce our guest speaker. So glad you're here. Thank you so much. It's not weird at all, but I mean, the week Bev made her transition, I get a phone call from a total stranger, and it's Reverend Ginny Roll, and she said, I was talking to Betty, and she just told me what happened, and I just wanted to call and tell you I'm so sorry, and what can I do? And I was just like, because, you know, it was just it was just a hard week. And we stayed in touch, and she's a fabulous speaker. And the more I learned, I thought, you know what you could do? You could come speak. And you could come. And I found out who she was and what she was doing, and we're just so delighted. I just love how Spirit puts us in each other's paths and just creates something amazing. So thank you for being here. So Reverend Ginny Roll began her journey towards ministry as a licensed Unity teacher. She worked in churches and as a spiritual enrichment and education instructor. She was ordained a minister in 2007 through the Unity program. Upon her ordination, she served in several churches, including Unity Church of Hawaii, which will speak to Pat and Andy, I know, as well as several churches in Virginia. Her most recent position was co-minister at Unity Church of Tidewater through September 2017. And currently, she teaches online classes with C students and ministerial candidates through Unity Worldwide Spiritual Institute. She also teaches on-campus classes for those becoming LUTs, licensed Unity teachers. So cool. So she's kind of that bedrock person who knows what's happening and knows how to lift people up and put them on this path, right, Al? So Reverend Ginny is also a part of the Light and Love Ministries training for those churches who wish to create a prayer chaplaincy program. Now this is cool. We used to have one in this church years ago, and we are reviving it, and we are so excited about that. We are delighted to be going through that process. So I think the timing is divine. And so I would like to ask you to welcome to the stage, please, Reverend Ginny Roll.
Thank you, sweetie.
So glad you're here.
Glad I'm here. Thank you. Hi, everyone. I think you have a minister in the making right here. I don't know whether she ever considers herself that, but she certainly has all the qualities of a minister and leading a congregation. So anyway, I just want to say how delighted I am to be here with all of you today. I know I was watching the storm in North Carolina, and I know, some of you, some of the areas got hit hard. And we also know, and I love what you all are going to be doing with the Unity Church in Wilmington to bring food and bring things that will help that area thrive and get back on their feet more quickly. So I really love the fact that the Unity churches stay connected like that, so that, we help one another out. We're all in this together on this journey. As someone once said, I'm not sure what yogi this was, we're all walking each other home. And so you're walking that, the Unity Williamsburg people, Wilmington people, to their, getting back on their feet and having life return to normal. So we're going to talk about prayer today. And when you think about it, since the beginning of time, people have prayed. If you ever watch the History Channel and they start digging, going back in time and digging up fossils and all sorts of things, it appears that there's been this consciousness of prayer that must be innate within us as human beings, because there seems to be this natural desire for people to pray. So prayer is much of human nature, I think, as eating. And some ways of praying are very different. There's chanting. One time I was at the Parliament of the World's Religions, and I got to see the whirling dervishes. And I thought, this is such an interesting way to pray. But what they were doing was allowing themselves to release themselves of all of the worldly ideas and things that boggle our mind, and just get in that space of oneness with that energy of life around them. I mean, we know of gospel music, we know of prayer beads and prayer wheels, and some people that just sit on the top of the mountain and just feel that connection with this infinite presence and power that we call God. And we know that Unity's foundation is prayer. All of you, I'm sure, know the beginning of Unity. We're back in the late 1800s when Myrtle Fillmore was told as a child, our family has tuberculosis in our family line. So you're going to be weak and not very strong, and more than likely, this is going to be what's going to happen to you. Now think about planting that seed in some little child's mind, right? We're a sickly family. You're not going to be able to be strong. And so that's what she believed, just like we believe so many things that other people tell us. and we just take it for granted. Well, I guess they know more than I do. And so for years, she was sickly. And then one day, she and Charles Fillmore, the two founders of Unity, decided to go to a program by Dr. E.B. Weeks. And they sat in this conference, and Myrtle heard the words that changed her life. And what he said was, "You are a child of God. You do not inherit sickness." Now, of all the people in that room that listened to what he said, Myrtle was the one that took it to heart. He's right. Why would I inherit sickness if I'm a child of God? And so she began a 2-year process of constantly praying every day, blessing her body, telling it that she was sorry, that she thought it wasn't going to be healthy and strong. And over that 2-year period, she became well. And what she did too, which I thought is nice, because several of you we were talking about Jesus before the service today, is she had a chair in front of her, and she would imagine that Jesus was sitting in the chair. So she was praying from that Christ consciousness, where she recognized that she is one with God, one with the infinite power and presence, one with the energy of life that moves in and through every cell and fiber and muscle and organ of her being, blessing it and saying, "I'm sorry. I thought you were weak, but now I know you're strong and healthy." So I know you're going to be doing different things with World Day of Prayer this week. And I'll just give you a couple of statistics, because the volume of what Silent Unity does, and has been going on for over 127 years now, I think, 24 hours a day. Anytime anybody needs a prayer, you can call Silent Unity. There's a You Pray app you can put on your phone. I've been sitting with people and knowing that they needed a prayer, and I would type it in and send it off to Silent Unity on my cell phone. They do about 1.8 million prayer requests annually. I mean, does that blow your mind? They take, they get about 3,300 calls a day, 1.2 million calls in a year. They do 300,000 written prayer requests. People still write in for prayers. And they do over 300,000 digital prayer request responses. Unity has, because of its foundation with Myrtle and what she did in healing herself, and the people in Kansas City that started coming to her and saying, "Well, you healed yourself. I want you to pray about this. I want you to pray about that. I want you to help me." This has turned into this worldwide prayer ministry. And I don't think there is anything else like it in the world. And so anytime that anyone wants to pray, they have got a partner to pray with. And I think it makes my heart sing. And the dedication that these people have to answer the phone and to pray with someone, I'm just so joy-filled to be a part of it. How about that? So when you all are having your World Day of Prayer next week, you are joining with people all around the world to pray for prayer requests that your church may have sent in, but the churches all across the Unity movement has sent in, and the churches and people all around the world that just send their individual prayer requests to Silent Unity every day. And what's an interesting statistic is that the Silent Unity gets the least number of prayer requests from Unity people. I mean, isn't that kind of an interesting thought, you know? Knowing the power of prayer, right? And yet we don't always have the feeling I'll give them a call and see and have somebody sit and pray with me. And now as you design your chaplain program for Unity Church of Raleigh, you'll be able to have someone that can sit with you and pray with you anytime about anything that's on your heart, whether it's something serious or it's something joy-filled. You know, sometimes we never think about praying about something that's really making us happy. You know, our daughter's graduating, or our son is this, or this beautiful lady back here did that wonderful drawing, and how artistic you are. That's a beautiful joy that we can celebrate in prayer. So anyway, that's kind of a little bit of the history of Unity and how it got started and how Silent Unity did. So then we talk about prayer. So there was a 5-year-old boy, his name was Johnny, and he told his dad that he really would love to have a little baby brother. And he told his dad, I will do anything that I have to do to get a baby brother. So his dad said, this is what I want you to do. Pray every day for the next 2 months for a baby brother, and I guarantee that God will give us one. Okay, that's the power of faith right there, right? I think the dad knew something. So Johnny thought, oh, that's exactly what I'm going to do. So every evening he would go up to his room and he would pray about having this baby brother. So after a while, he went and he told his friends what he was doing. He said, yeah, every night I pray because I want a baby brother, and so I'm praying because then I know we're going to get a baby brother. And his friend said, look, that is never going to work. That's not how this works. So Johnny decided to stop doing it. 2 months later, his dad invites him into the bedroom, and the mom is in the bed, and mom's got a little baby. It's a little baby boy. Johnny was thrilled. And then the dad pulled the covers back a little bit, and there's another baby boy. She had twin boys. And the dad said, see how powerful your prayers were? Aren't you glad you prayed? He said, well, as Johnny hesitated, yes, but aren't you glad I quit when I did? I think that's such a cute story. Yeah, we could have had 10, 15 babies in the bed. I don't know, you know. But I must say that when I came to Unity, I came from a Catholic background, and I had a whole different idea of what prayer was all about. And maybe many of you that have come from different faith traditions have very different ideas of what is prayer all about. And when I got to Unity, there were 3 books that I read that made the biggest impact on me. One was Stretton Smith's 4T Prosperity Program. It let me understand prosperity consciousness. The other one was Discover the Power Within by Eric Butterworth, who was a Unity minister in New York City and wrote many books. And then the other one was The Universe is Calling, also by Eric Butterworth. And The Universe is Calling was the book that said, this is a different way to think about prayer. And so he goes on in this book to talk about it. Now, he talks about the traditional prayer, and then he talks about the Unity concept of prayer. That was powerful for me because I'd never heard that before. And then, of course, in Discover the Power Within, he goes on to say the reason that affirmative prayer, which is the type of prayer that Unity prays, why that is so powerful is because you are an expression of God. You're it. Where do I find God? In every one of your faces, right? Where do I come in contact with God? With people all during the day. Everyone is an expression of God. Now, sometimes our expression of God can be a little not so wonderful. And I heard it say one time that it's like we've got this inner knowing, which in Unity we call the Christ, which is the individualized expression of God as you and me. So that's who we are on our spiritual, in our spiritual being. And yet, it takes us a time to discover that. And so in this book, Discover the Power Within, that's what you're doing. You're discovering this magnificent spiritual being that you are that is now currently expressing in a human form. Sometimes, like I say, our behavior doesn't really mirror that, okay, because we are this human part of us can kind of take over, and we can get angry and mad and unforgiving and irritated and do horrible things, right? Because we've forgotten who we are. We're way out here. We're way out here. And then, as we begin to awaken, as all of you in this room I know are on that path of awakening, we realize, well, no, if I am this expression of God, how do I want to act? How do I want to behave? How do I want to show up in the world? How will somebody know that they have come in contact with God because of something that I have done? Right? Cute story. I'm always going to, I always tear up at this one because just touches me. It was after World War II. And I'm imagining over in Europe, it was pretty devastated. You know, I can see buildings all, you know, blown away and just a big old mess. But there was a little bakery. And in the little bakery, they was selling all their little goods. There was a gentleman that walked in there and bought some things to take home to his family. So when he did, he had his little bag of goodies, and there was a little boy looking outside. And shucks, I can't ever get through this story. Looking through the window at all this beautiful, you know, these beautiful sweets and everything, knowing that he couldn't have any, right? So the gentleman gets his bag and he walks out the door, and he didn't really notice the child. He gets down the walkway a little bit, and then he turns back around and he sees the little boy standing there. So he goes back and he says to the little boy, "Let's go in." And the little boy followed him in. And he bought him a couple of little sweets to take home to his family. And as the little boy was leaving, he tugged on the man's jacket, and he looked up at him and he said, "Are you God?" It's that simple. It's just simple things that allow people to understand and know that they've come in contact with love, with joy, with peace, with harmony. Just sitting with someone that needs prayer around maybe the loss of a family member, just sitting with that person, letting them know that you're there, can be the biggest healing that you could ever do. You don't have to be talking and telling stories. Just be with people. Let them know that you see them and who they are. So Eric Butterworth says this in his book, The Universe is Calling. So prayer is not something we do to God or a ceremony we perform for God. It is an experience of our own God potential. We do not really pray to God. Rather, we pray from a consciousness of God. There's a distinction there. Prayer is not conditioning God with our needs, but conditioning our lives with the activity of God. Prayer is self-realization, self-expansion. It is getting centered within and reestablishing ourselves in the flow of the infinite creative process. So we're not trying to do anything to God. It saddens me when I hear stories when somebody will say, well, you know, why did this little child die and this little child live? Well, I guess she didn't pray hard enough. I guess God wanted a new angel. You know, and the things that we say that are really kind of insensitive. Because God doesn't work like that. God wouldn't do something for this child and not do it for that child if God was in the doing business. But God is the love. God is the joy. God is the wholeness. God is the peace. It's the whole enchilada. God doesn't have qualities of love and joy and peace. It is the entire quality, right? So whenever we move from those ideas and express that in the world, then we're expressing that God presence within us. So when Unity talks about affirmative prayer, it says it's not beseeching or begging or hoping that God is going to respond to us. It's not a prayer of bargaining with God. I've done this one before. If you do this, I'll do that, right? It is not a prayer where we hold God responsible for the result. And there have been people over time that say, well, I don't pray anymore because, you know, God never listened to anything I had to say, right? Eventually, we give up this kind of prayer and consider a new way, and that's what we call affirmative prayer. So in affirmative prayer, we don't deny a condition. I mean, if you have no money in your wallet and you don't have a bank account, okay, you could say, I don't have anything, right? That's the condition. Conditions can change. You could walk down the street and find a $100 bill laying on the sidewalk. Conditions can change, so you don't deny a condition. You say, okay, this is what's going on in my life right now, right? But when I pray, I don't pray about the condition. I pray about the reality of my spiritual essence, which says, what do you think it says? I am abundant. I live in an abundant universe. Now, you don't see it yet. It's not, you don't see your wallet full of dollar bills all of a sudden, but you allow yourself and your mind to connect with the allness of God. That in the allness of God, there is no lack, right? We can think there is because that's how we're thinking. Change our mind. Don't think that thought, or when it comes, go, get thee behind me, you know? The truth is, I live in an abundant universe. Now, if you've got to test it, what you do is you put on your awareness glasses, your spiritual glasses, and you look around at the world. And you see the beauty. I tell you, just driving into this church this morning, absolutely gorgeous with the sun and the trees. This is a beautiful, beautiful area. So you just take a minute and you enjoy where you are. And you see the beauty in it. Maybe there's a little child riding a bicycle down the road. And for a minute, you just say, wow, isn't that wonderful? Right? Or wow, I'm so glad that the storm passed and you know, we can help others that have been devastated by it. Or wow, I'm so glad to be alive today. You know? I'm so glad to be able to feel that sunshine on me. Or whatever it is. Finding that your music is amazing here. So, I mean, here you've got all these beautiful folks sharing their gifts. I was in tears over that song because it was so beautiful. But, you know, this is a blessing. So, you know, just go, we got an abundant universe. Look what our church has for us on a Sunday morning. Look at each one of you that I know are very, very friendly with one another and really care about one another and are there for one another. That's a blessing. That's the abundance of the universe right at your feet. But see, we overlook that. We think, no, I don't have enough money. But abundance consciousness is different than that. A consciousness of peace is different than looking at the news and getting all upset. Consciousness of peace says, if I'm meant to do something about the conditions going on in the world, I will be moved and motivated to do those. It's like in the spiritual gifts seminar that we're going to do, or workshop. You know, if there are things that you have that are your natural gifts, you get to decide, am I going to share those or not? Do I want to share those? And that's a personal choice. And so, once again, just this whole idea of how blessed we are in our country. Yeah. So that's what we do. We look past the condition. We don't deny it. We deny it doesn't have that it has power over us. We deny the fact that it's not going to ruin my day because this condition is in my life. We look past it. And you can look at the 12 powers as a way of praying. And what would you pray about? Do you need wisdom in order to maybe make a better decision about where you want to go with your life and your job? Do you need peace because there's a lot of commotion and chaos in your life right now? And so I'm going to see that power of peace is what I'm going to be praying about. Do I need faith? Do I need to say, well, yeah, this is the way things are now, but I know without a doubt that things are going to get better. I know that. We say, you know, God is good. Why do I think my life isn't going to have that goodness in it? Why would we think that? So just a couple of thoughts about all of that. Yeah. Charles Fillmore said that he believed that the one who prays must persist in his prayer until the walls of resistance are broken down and the healing currents are flowing in, or whatever you desire to be manifest in your life, whether it's prosperity or health or peace or whatever it is that you want. You have to feel almost a shift within yourself to know that you've really gotten yourself in alignment. Originally, when Myrtle Fillmore had her group that would pray before Silent Unity and phones and all of that came about, they would literally pray about an issue until they felt a shift. And to me, that's the shift of faith. I know, I don't feel it right now, I don't see it right now, but I believe and know that what I am praying about is there for me already. I just haven't seen it yet. It hasn't made itself manifest yet. So once again, in that consciousness of God, so you say, well, Ginny, how do you get into that? So in our prayer process, and we can actually do this now as part of our meditation, if you'd like to, just take everything from your lap and just allow yourself to feel very, very relaxed and very comfortable. Anything that's on your heart that you would like to connect with, let's say if you were going to pray about something, what would you want to pray about? Whatever it is, whatever situations are going on, get all that, think about all that, what is that all going to be? And then Eric Butterworth says this in one of the YouTube videos on the silence. He says, now, he said, write it all down. So we're not going to write it down, but just in your mind, put it aside, like just put it away, because now we're going to get into the consciousness of God. So we put aside all the worries and the concerns and the fears and the doubts and the busyness and what's coming up next and what's going on for later on today, and just put it aside. It'll all be waiting there at the end of our time. And the first step in the prayer process is the relaxation stage, where we allow ourselves to just feel and take a breath and take another breath and feel your body just relaxing and giving way for, I always feel like a puddle of water or something. So relaxation. And then realization. What is it that you want to realize? Based on the things that you've sat on the floor or put in the chair next to you, what do you want to realize? What do you want your prayer to be about? So concentrate on that for just a moment. What would be your prayer? Looking at the 12 powers, it could be understanding, imagination, order. Maybe you need order in some of your things. Zeal. Maybe you need some enthusiasm and excitement. And now we go into time of meditation. So in meditation, we quiet ourselves and allow our thinking to slow down a little bit. And one of the ways to do this is as you breathe in and breathe out, there might be a word that you want to use as a touchstone, so that when your mind starts drifting off into, oh my gosh, it's almost 12 o'clock, I got to get out of here soon, you bring yourself back with the word. It could be peace, it could be love, it could be angels, whatever it is that works for you. And so in this time of meditation, we breathe. And then we take another breath. And when we get very, very, very still, we might just drift off for just a moment or two where we almost feel like we've gone somewhere, that we're not here right now, just for a few moments. And that's called the silence. So breathe in again. And breathe in again. As you drift into the silence. Now as you begin to take another deep breath and maybe feel yourself in this room again and sitting on your chair, and you begin to realize that you've had I kind of call it a sip into your godness, into your oneness with the infinite power and presence that we call God. We don't have to stay there long, but we realize we're greater than just our bodies. And we feel that we've touched, we can even say like the garment of Jesus, when that beautiful woman in the Bible touched the garment of Jesus and she was healed instantly. We've taken a sip and touched into that infinite power and presence that moves through us. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes and realize that you have all the answers you need to take care of anything that's in your pile of things that you need answers about. Because why? Because you're one with the mind of God. You're one with the source of all good, all life, all everything, all answers. We have them within ourselves, and we realize that. So whatever we were wanting, wisdom, strength, power, whatever you put in that beginning step, it's available to you now. You don't have to wait for it. And then we give gratitude. We're grateful for the knowing that sets us free. Yeah, we are of the world, but we are of the Spirit also. And that's where all the answers lie. That's where everything that we need is found within us. I know when I was first becoming a minister, I thought, oh my gosh, I got to counsel people. What am I going to tell them? Oh my gosh, I just don't know. How do I know what's for them? And then I heard the most profound thing, and this was from the gentleman that the Robert Brummett, who wrote the book Finding Yourself in Transition. He goes, let me tell you, you don't have to tell somebody what's theirs to do. They already know it. If I tell them what to do, I'm saying, you don't know. Now, it doesn't mean I wouldn't suggest something, or say, this might be a good book to read, or maybe give this person a call, they might be able to help you. But I don't know what's right for you. And I went, whew, all right, good. I don't want to have to do that as a minister. But I want to look at you, and I want to know you got everything you need. You're the Christ. You're the son and daughters of the living God. That's who we are. Yeah. And so it is. Amen. I think the next thing we get to do is sing those beautiful words to the Lord's Prayer.
We're going to see how this goes, folks. I wasn't planning on this. Now there's the rest of the music team. I'm going to feature Alan on this one.
Good morning. This is a song by Van Morrison, and he just released his 41st album. Can you believe that? And I found out recently, y'all have heard of Agape, Michael Beckwith. They kind of are parallel to Unity. Van Morrison's been very spiritual, but he's disdained organized religion. I saw a video of him. You can check out on YouTube. He has been singing with Agape in California, with Michael Beckwith and the whole choir out there. So this is a Van Morrison song, and I think it ties in with what Reverend Ginny had to say. Spirit will provide beyond the lights. Spirit will provide beyond the white. Spirit will provide. Spirit will provide. Let go, let go. Let Spirit provide. Change your thought and it will change your mind. Spirit will provide. Spirit will provide. It's no mystery when you can see clearly. Vibrating at a higher frequency. Feel your purpose as you go about your life daily. Understanding what it means to clearly see. Yeah, Spirit will provide when you feel down. Plug into, don't buy what's going round. Spirit will provide. Spirit will provide. It's no mystery as you can see clearly. Vibrating, vibrating at a higher frequency. Feel your purpose as you go about your life daily. Understanding what it means to clearly see. Yeah, Spirit will provide. Now don't you cry. Spirit will provide. Now dry your eyes. Spirit will provide. 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 Ba, 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 ba. Thank you. Greg Bockover, first time he has ever played that on piano. As far as I know. We practiced it on guitar.
Alan, thank you for that. We love Van Morrison, and Greg just expressed Susan. He was Susan in expression. Awesome. Our musicians are the best. So why don't we prepare for our offering by singing the song, I See Abundance Everywhere. I see abundance everywhere, God's rich supply beyond compare. 'Tis ours to use and to enjoy, His gifts to us without alloy. Prosperity, prosperity, I know my own has come to me. God sends His children joys, wealth and wisdom and peace. And we are grateful, voices raise to Thee, O God, in hymns of praise. You know, before we take up our offering, we always like to say thank you. And something that I am grateful for, I don't know if y'all have noticed, but the sound booth has been beautifully boxed in. It looks awesome. So round of applause and many thanks for that wonderful work. Looks fantastic. So awesome. I don't know who did it, but I love that worker bees have been busily I was going to say, probably this guy, Andy, our chief worker bee. It's wonderful how just every Sunday something new and amazing and beautiful is happening, and it's always because of somebody out here in our community, and so we give thanks for that. We give thanks for all things. So we take our offerings in our hands, giving thanks that all good things come from God, affirming our offertory blessing, divine love flowing through me, blesses and multiplies all that I am and have, and all that I give and receive. Together, divine love flowing through me, blesses and multiplies all that I am and have, and all that I give and receive. So it is. Amen.
All right, I guess we're all prayed up now, right? Good. We're not. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're all prayed up. We're all prayed up now. We're all prayed up and everything gonna be all right. We're all prayed up. Now we're all prayed up and everything gonna be alright. Everybody wants to, yeah, we wanna feel just fine. Everybody tries to make it to the end of the line. Yeah, we all prayed up. Up now. We're all prayed up and everything gonna be alright. Everybody needs to dance. Yeah, everybody gets, yeah, we all get a second chance. Yeah, we all prayed up. Up now. We're all prayed up and everything gonna be alright. Everybody needs a piece of that shining light. Put your hands together, be still and pray with all your might. Yeah, we all prayed up. Everything gonna be alright. We're all prayed up. We're all prayed up now. We're all prayed up and everything gonna
awesome. That was good. Let's bless those offerings. Where did they go? Sometimes it happens, they just scurry right off. Here she is. It was so good. The song was so good. She's dancing back there in the corner. Okay. But you know, that is God energy. That energy of dancing and spirit and laughter, that is God. So let's just go within, levitate a little bit, go within. Thank you, Lord, for this day and our many blessings. Thank you for these tithes and love offerings given both here and through our 3G automatic giving program. They are divine substance made real through faith, imagination, and belief. Thank you, God, for the truth we know. God within prospers us, and so we prosper others, bringing more love, light, and laughter to the planet. And so it is. Amen. Beautiful. So now let's stand and welcome back those kids by singing "We Are Walking in the Light." Wonderful people. How was it? Of course you do. Hey, shall we bless these people? We love you, we bless you, we appreciate you, and we behold the Christ in you together. We love you, we bless you, we appreciate you, and we behold the Christ in you. Y'all too, thank you so much for coming out today. Reverend Jenny, we loved it. Thank you for being with us as our speaker. We are looking forward, yes. We are looking forward to that workshop, so everybody grab some lunch, and at 12:25 sharp, let's come back here and sit and be ready to learn about our indwelling spiritual gifts. Right after the service, the Caring Hearts team grab a little snack, and let's meet in the adult ed room. And for all the rest of us, we want to go out into this, you ready, Greg? This great, big, beautiful world this week, knowing that the light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. And wherever we are, God is. And all is well. Now let's join hands and sing our prayer for the planet. Yes, there is peace on earth, and yes, it begins with me. Yes, there is peace on earth, a peace that was meant to be. With God as Creator. Every day, in every way, we are in the flow of the infinite creative process of God. We are all prayed up, and everything is going to be all right. Namaste.
something in the way she moves, or looks my way or calls my name, that seems to leave this troubled world behind. If I'm feeling down and blue, or troubled by some foolish game, she always seems to make me change my mind. I feel fine anytime she's around me now. She's around me now, almost all the time. If I'm well, you can tell that she's been with me now. She's been with me now quite a long, long time, and I feel fine. Every now and then the things I lean on lose the meaning, and I find myself careening in places where I should not let me go.